Looking at the richest countries in the world today, we observe similar traits present in those that dominate the list. For one, a majority of them are small nations in terms of population as well as geographic size, but the average income per person here is the highest in the world. They are even richer than the United States, the United Kingdom, as well as Germany. One country present on this list is Singapore. In 1965, the country had a GDP per capita of just $500, and today is one of the wealthiest nations in the world. Its strategic location and natural harbour at the mouth of the Malacca Strait, coupled with an honest government, lots of foreign trade and its small size, have all contributed to its immense success. Why does size matter? If we look at large countries, they are often harder to govern due to the vast differences in ideology, ethnicity, race and language of their people. Smaller countries, on the other hand, are more homogeneous, having smaller, centralized governments that tend to be more efficient and accountable. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Singapore, Switzerland and Norway are some of the least corrupt nations in the world. Being small also allows nations to collect more in terms of taxes. The population is small and leakages can be avoided to a great extent. This allows them to keep relatively low tax rates and yet collect more tax as a percentage of GDP when compared with larger nations. Luxembourg has one of the lowest tax rates in Europe and as a result has given rise to a booming banking and financial sector. Its citizens enjoy some of the highest standards of living in the world. Ireland has been the go-to destination for large multinationals since a very long time, due to its favourable tax environment along with a highly educated workforce. The Irish government played a huge part in this by focusing on educating its citizens, even providing secondary education for free. There is almost no unemployment here. Having a smaller population results in a better distribution of wealth. Qatar has the third largest natural gas reserves in the world, and a very small population. If you divide that larger resource among such a small population, you soon become the richest country in the world. Qatar was hit, however, by falling oil prices and yet managed to retain the top spot and offset the resource curse by diversifying into other sectors as well. Many smaller countries act as city-states, having a completely urban population. As a result, we see no urban-rural or city-countryside divide here that is observed in larger nations. Hence, they are richer. If we were to assume cities such as Beijing, London or San Francisco as independent countries, the top 10 table would look a lot different. Another reason why smaller countries do better is that they need to spend much less on their infrastructure, such as roads, railways or bridges. Also, they spend very little on their military. Luxembourg has an army of just 1,000 soldiers, while San Marino has no military at all. This provides smaller countries with more money to spend and invest in things like education and healthcare, creating a healthier and highly skilled society. Smaller countries can afford to focus on just one or two things and do them perfectly. Take Macau for instance. The country developed into a hotspot for leisure and gambling and has long eclipsed even Las Vegas in earnings. However, the majority of these nations have a large immigrant workforce who are not citizens but do contribute towards the economy. While calculating GDP per capita, these individuals are not factored in, leading to slightly inflated figures. Also, large nations benefit from economies of scale and practically dominate manufacturing and agriculture. Every nation is unique and has its own strengths, but we cannot deny that smaller nations do enjoy the sweeter slice of the pie.